Silence.
Hmm?
Silence. Good evening. It's Behind the News, where we bring you the latest updates and detailed analysis of current happenings in Ghana and beyond. My name is Adeline Ejekum Abibio. Thanks for listening to us wherever you find yourself at the moment. In the headline, Media Foundation for West Africa (MFWA) and Fourth Estate leads national call to confront rising food safety crisis. Why the focus on these thematic area? We'll find out more on that. And Ghana launches a Decades of Our Repatriation to welcome global African family home. More to come. Behind the News is live on all our regional and district FM stations across the country. Stay with us for the next 1 hour. I shall bring you all the details. Ghana is positioning itself at the nine of a new global Pan-African awakening with the Decades of a Repatriation (DOOR), a presidentially endorsed initiative led by Repatriate to Ghana.com. The laudable initiative marks a step toward redefining Ghana's relationship with a global African family. Moving beyond the symbolic resonance of Visit Ghana, the initiative seeks to inspire millions of Black people in the diaspora to be before to come home and stay and rebuild their lives on the continent. Branded as Ghana's Great Brain Gain, the initiative aims to reverse centuries of brain drain by turning Ghana into a global hub for Black creativity, intellectual capital, and self determination. Scholars describe DOOR as a contemporary expression of Abibifahodie Black Liberation in practice, and this is designed to reconnect the dispersed African family and make repatriation sustainable, not ceremonial. One of the leading thinkers engaging critically with this agenda is Ɔbenfo Obadele Kambon, Associate Professor at the Institute of African Studies, University of Ghana, known for his influential work in African linguistics, Pan-African thought, and re-Africanization. He has joined us in the studios to tell us more on this initiative and what he hopes to achieve. Obenfo, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, the Decade of Our Repatriation (DOR) is framed not just as a cultural reconnection, but as a nation building tool. What makes repatriation a national development strategy, as your vision seems to portray, and how can it also reshape Ghana's social, intellectual, and economic landscape over the next decade?
So, not too long ago, I was asked to put together a panel of some of my repatriates by DW, that's out of Germany, of course. And one thing that came up, so you had, my repatriates on the one side, and you had students. They're actually UNIMAC students who are partnered with UNIMAC on a film festival that we have coming up, not this weekend, but following weekend. And one thing that came up is, the hostess asked, how many of you, students, if you got a chance, would you just run away to US, UK, anywhere? Every single hand, like, get me out of here. And basically what came up is that there is a disconnect. We talk about brain drain, but at the same time, you have those who are coming from the historic diaspora and the more recent Ghanaian diaspora who are looking to come home. And one thing that also came up is that you saw that all of the Ghanaian students were all wearing clothes from US, UK, so forth and so on. All of those who are repatriating were wearing clothes made by Black people. And it's, a question of, like, why would you even question why, if a Black person is wearing clothes made by Black people, it's like, why are you doing that? If a Chinese person is wearing Chinese clothes, no one will question that person, why are you doing that? If Japanese are wearing Japanese clothes, Indians are wearing Indian clothes, American, anybody else. But if Black people wearing clothes made by Black people, it's like a head scratcher. Why would you ever do that? But part of the brain gain is for us to come, and this actually came up when I was in Burkina Faso. They were saying, you know what? Oftentimes you look at diasporans as coming to bring in money and so forth, but then you take that money in order to hire experts from China, experts from wherever. Like, we have our own expertise as well. So look at just keeping that money here,
Yeah.
and then actually, the brain gain that's coming. These are people who have skills and everything you can imagine. My own background is in terms of linguistics. You have those coming with engineering. You have those coming with, business, marketing, promotion, everything that you can imagine, and willingly, giving it here. Another thing that also came up from that conversation is people are like, well, why are these people coming? What's this all about? But no one's asking anything about the Chinese. They're building the fourth, fifth, sixth China Mall on Spentex
Yes.
Road. On top of that, the Lebanese are opening palace, and then on top of that, they have, Malcolm with the East Indians. everybody is here and everybody is coming in droves, except for the black people who are miseducated and are like, let me run out to anywhere. It means that they see something. If you think the Chinese are not foolish people, it means that they're seeing something that is able to sustain them here in Ghana. If you see the Lebanese, if you see East Indians, if you see the US Embassy, which is as big as however many city blocks, everybody is here because everybody who's intelligent on the planet Earth understands that whosoever controls the continent controls the entire world. That's everything from coltan to bauxite to uranium, you name it. Everybody understands that, except for the students who are like, oh, I can't get a job. Well, let me go and shine shoes in France. Or I can't get a job. Let me go clean toilets in Spain. This is their understanding of where's my job at, as opposed to how can I use AI to create my own job. If I have internet, that doesn't mean I just doom scroll on some white website. It means that I can actually create my own job as a virtual assistant. I can create my own podcast. So, it's just a mentality of how can I create my own as opposed to I'm waiting for someone to hand me a job. They have the Unemployed Students Association of Ghana. What are you saying other than I'd never got an education? No one oriented me towards how can I create my own thing? So the brain gain is how we can learn from each other, really. Those who are already here have certain skills, certain talents, certain ideas, it's just being underutilized. And then those from outside also have certain skills, talents, ideas. And once those come together, it can be something that's powerful in order to make this a world power. Because so many of our great geniuses, from Baba Omoale and Malcolm X to Nana Marcus Garvey, have said that until this land is a world power, no black person will be respected anywhere on the planet Earth. Isn't that what we see? I can't breathe. Hands up, don't shoot. We showed a documentary, Kofi Adu-Brempong, a Ghanaian who was doing his PhD at University of Florida. They didn't ask for his passport. The police kicked in his door, shot him in the chest, shot him in the face. Fortunately, he survived. You had Amadou Diallo. This is when I was in undergrad. No one asked, "Oh, where's your passport? Are you part of ECOWAS? Are you a citizen of Guinea?" They shot him however many times to the point where you couldn't even count anymore. And this is what's going on. Why are they doing that? Because why do you have to respect a black person who comes from Ghana? Ghana doesn't have nuclear weapons. I bet they're not doing that to the Chinese. I bet they're not doing that to the Israelis. I bet they're not doing it to anyone whose homeland is a world power. So Ghana's great brain gain, this decade of our repatriation. This isn't a year of return. When they said year of return, people were thinking about it like, let me come for a week and party. Let me come for a week or 2 weeks, shake my booty in dirty December and then go back. But when we say decade of our repatriation, this isn't just return in some type of vague sense. This is repatriating, coming home and bringing your entire bank account, coming and bringing your wife, bringing your children, bringing all of the money you would have spent on your mortgage, all of the money you would have spent on your car note, all of the money you would have spent on clothes and on bottled water and anything else you can imagine. You've literally robbed the bank of $500,000 just by changing your location. All of the money that was going to go to Donald Trump to bomb black people somewhere is now coming here to build the land of black people. All the money that would have gone to build prisons to falsely and illegally arrest black people, that's now coming here to build the land of black people. All of the time that we would have gone to a restaurant, they charge sales tax on it. And what are they using that sales tax for? Let's go buy bullets to shoot black people down in the streets. All of that money that would have been going to enriching our enemies is now coming here to the land of black people. Why? Because if you really want to make a change there, then make this land a superpower, and then you'll see the ripple effects throughout the world. So that's Ghana's great brain gain that is being championed by Repatriate to Ghana. It's been endorsed by the Office of the President. It's been endorsed by Ghana Tourism Development Company. We have an MOU with Unimac. That's part of the film festival. We'll talk about that as well. We have an MOU with the association. We've just been endorsed by the Association of Black Psychologists because there's also a mental and a psychological component to this repatriation home. Another MOU with the Universal Negro Improvement Association, Nana Marcus Garvey's association. So we've been doing quite a lot of, moving around and interconnecting all of these different parts because once they come together, this is the change that we've been waiting for, but we're not waiting anymore. This isn't reparations asking someone. This is self-reparations of what we're doing for ourselves.
All right. So, speaking of presidential endorsements, in your view, what level of political commitment is required to translate repatriation from a ceremonial gesture into a transformative state policy? And also, how can Ghana avoid repeating historical breaks in diaspora engagement?
Very good. So this is an excellent question. There are several components to it. The level of government support, the level of endorsement. We're seeing this in terms of the president announcing this. So, and I got this from KOD at Diaspora Affairs. So I'm holding you to it, KOD, that he said that he's going to have make sure that the president announces it
Okay.
at the Diaspora Summit. He said there's going to be some 20 heads of state present, major security affair, everything you can imagine. So when the president of the Republic of Ghana announces that this is our decade of our repatriation, that's plenty of support because we already have the systems, the processes, the structures and infrastructure through Repatriate to Ghana. We've been helping literally hundreds of people. When you go to repatriatetoghana.com, the short URL is r2gh.com. You'll see the testimonials of those who we've assisted in terms of acquiring land, in terms of everything from citizenship to vehicle purchasing to even helping people get married. Right, that's real integration. Learning the language, all of these different components are really what it's all about. And this is a thing that for us as diasporans, we're not waiting for the government to do anything, for us. Everything that they do is very much appreciated. But anything that we want to see happen, we have an MOU with the Beyond Investments. This is a brother named Dre Taylor. He has a multi-million-dollar facility that he's building at Obosamasi, just a couple of towns away from me. I'm at, Equipin Mampong. But this is a place for housing, not just for diasporans. We don't want to come here and there's a diaspora enclave. All right, you all go off. Nobody knows what y'all are doing. That's not what it's all about. It's actually integrating and reintegrating and reinculturating and learning the language and interacting with the people. So he has Ghanaians there, he has diasporans there. All of them are there. So this is when I'm talking about structure, infrastructure, systems, and processes. We have another brother, Calvin Daniels. He has a 46-acre moringa farm. I myself have invested, several other repatriates have invested, Ghanaians have invested as well, because they've seen. I did an interview with Web Nation Africa. It's a brother named Captain Hafer. Right after me, this brother did an interview and he was telling people that you can become a multi-millionaire many times over in dollars or in CDs or any currency you can imagine by farming moringa. Moringa is the new cocoa. If you think about cocoa as the backbone of Ghana's economy, and that's what Equipem Mampong is known for, right? Tete
Yeah.
Kwashi planted the first cocoa. Like we still talk about this to this day. Imagine moringa
Mhm.
in terms of all the nutrients, in terms of all of the health benefits, becoming just like that because it's drought resistant. It's able to grow in places, Upper East. You take it wherever it's able to thrive. That this is one of the things. So now you have repatriates who are looking at, okay, well, if I come to Ghana, what can I do? Well, one thing you can do is you can invest, right? There was a brother who I met in Burkina Faso. We let him know about investment opportunities. So we have all of these people who have repatriated and are doing amazing things where it comes to construction, where it comes to agriculture, where it comes to services, job creation, all of these different components. Because no, you're not going to come here and see Stevie Wonder repatriate and he's begging on the side of the street. You're not going to see Rita Marley come here and then she's begging on the side of the street. If we're coming here, we're coming with intent and purpose to make this land once again what it needs to be so that that now has ripple effects for black people throughout the entire world. So this is what you're seeing. So the government support that we need, we're not looking for ceremonial gestures, but once we have citizenship, and I was part of the first cohort of group who got citizenship. There were 34 of us in 2016. And one thing, and that was under President Muhammad, that was before the year of return, and a lot of people forget about that. But one thing that he said that was so profound to me is he said, I'm not giving you anything, I'm restoring your birthright. I need no honor or praise because I'm restoring what rightfully belongs to you. Now, this is on December 28th. He had already been voted out of power. He's not like, oh, let me go get some political points. We didn't know he was coming back as president again, but we definitely want people to know that this idea of naturalization en masse of these diasporans who are coming here, that he was a progenitor of that type of thing. Now, of course, we know that under Nana Kwame Nkrumah, you had, Du Bois, you had others who came prior to this, but the idea of 34 all getting citizenship, that's what Sierra Leone is now doing looking at Ghana. That's what Benin is now doing. They just pronounced Spike Lee and Sierra as, ambassador for citizenship there. That's what Guinea-Bissau is doing. I'm just coming back from Burkina Faso where I was able to, be part of an audience with President Ibrahim Traore. Everybody is looking at this, but the progenitor of it as it stands now is President Muhammad. And that's something that needs to be known. So what he's done in terms of even just that, that's not just a ceremonial gesture. From that, I'm able to do so many things that I wasn't able to do before. You had a lot of people who are like, well, I would start a factory, but my status, I don't know about my status, right? Or I would do this, but I don't want to get deported if it gets too big. But now we actually have a head of state who's welcoming us home in substantive ways. Where now, guess what? You can open a bank account, you can deal with land, you can open a business, you can employ Ghanaians, you can do things that are actually going to have an impact on society. I look at hundreds, no, thousands of students that I've taught at the University of Ghana since 2014. I'm associate professor. I'm moving to full professor. I've already submitted my promotion dossier. Everybody wish me skill on that one. But I've literally impacted thousands and thousands of Ghanaians who are now thinking differently. They're dressing differently. They're building their homes differently. They're doing all these things differently because of this impact that's not just symbolic of come home, party for a couple of weeks, and then go back and get a knee on your neck. Come home, party for a couple of weeks, and then hands up, don't shoot. I can't breathe. No, come home and now stay and build your life here so that you and those who are born here in Ghana can actually build this land. And as we say, make Kemet black again. Kemet is what they used to refer to, quote unquote, ancient Egypt. But Kemet doesn't mean ancient Egypt. It means the land of black people. It's the same thing as saying Abibi mine. So we're making Kemet black again. We're making Abibi mine black again. Everybody is here. The Lebanese are taking up all the land. The Indo-Aryans are taking up all the land. They're putting Gandhi statues at the University of Ghana. Everybody is here and making their impact. Confucius Institute. Everybody is here. But then the students who are being miseducated are running elsewhere. What are we really doing? This is Ghana's great brain game.
All right, so Obenfo, you have consistently argued that African language acquisition is central to re-Africanization. How critical is language to the success of DOOR, and what role should institutions like the Institute of African Studies play in ensuring meaningful cultural integration for returnees?
This is a great question. So the head of the Black Star Experience is Onimonyamfo Rex Omar. So I went to
The
see him.
musician?
Yeah, the musician. Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to see him a little bit earlier, and we started off speaking English, right? I was, we're just having a conversation, and then he picked up a phone call, and I heard him speaking Chi. So when he was speaking Chi, when he finished the phone call, I said, "Hey, who to Chi na? Yeah, yeah, bro for Kasasi." He said, "Hey, what's what at Chi?" I said, "I am make a Chi." The whole conversation changed, right? It became a much more relaxed conversation. We start, how did you learn? Oh, I learned this. I came here in 1998, stayed for. So it was an entirely different experience. Not like he was being cold intentionally or distant, but it's just like, there's a quote from Nelson Mandela where it says, if you speak to a person in a language he understands, that goes to his head. But if you speak to him in his own language, that goes to his heart. So, like I said, it was an entirely different experience. And he's a cordial guy. I don't want anybody to think that he's not being cordial to people. But he was cordial enough, but it became, like I said, a much different conversation once, we're able to converse in our own language, right?
Yeah.
Not his language, our language as black people, because English isn't our language. I call it stinklish, right? Because of smell. I don't call it French. I call it stench because, oh my goodness, the smell. So these are not our languages, no matter if we were born speaking them or however long we've been speaking them. These are our own languages and they are key. I gave a talk on Abibitumi. I want everyone to download the Abibitumi app. I gave a talk on Abibitumi and it was entitled How to Be Accepted and Respected When You Repatriate to Ghana. And one of the main things I was talking about was the language, right? So there are different things that we're doing to help people to reinculturate. And for example, we have the film festival coming up. That's the first of three of these pre-announcement events, right? So this is November 28th through the 30th, the Abibifahodie Film Festival in partnership with Unimac. We have an MOU with Unimac in partnership with Ozone Cinema at Oyarifa Mall. We also have an MOU with them in partnership with the Africa World Documentary Film Festival. We've been working with them since 2015. So all of these entities are coming together in order to assist in what we're talking about in terms of that reinculturation, the reintegration. Look at the power of visuals. Look at the power of film We have Ajete Anan, who's already on board for it. Amaka Bebrese is one of the jury members. Nikwate Awo. Some people may not know him, but he is a pioneer. We're giving him a lifetime achievement award. A lot of people talk about all of these, artifacts that have been stolen and are found in these museums. In the 1970s, he was able to go into the British Museum, into the basement, and for the first time in hundreds of years, document and film all of these things that had been stolen. You understand? So, these are some of those who are going to be a part of that. We have the virtual conference, the Abibifahodie conference, which is going to be from the 5th to the 7th. And then on top of that, we have the main conference that's happening from the 12th through the 14th. So many luminary speakers. We have KOD, Head of Diaspora Affairs, Office of the President, coming as our keynote speaker. We have Honorable Jifa Komashi, who is also committed to, speak there. Prof. Kobe Mensah, he says, as long as he's in Ghana, he's going to be there. So many luminaries in terms of government officials. Some of the projects we have, a Creole Chrome project, which is a $100 billion city proposed for Ghana, not a diaspora city, a city
Okay.
period for Ghanaians, for anybody who's coming here. That's a Creole Chrome. People who are interested can look up a Creole Chrome DP. We have just so many of those types of projects. And then we have community support members such as AAAG, African American Association of Ghana, who's on board, Ghana Caribbean Association. Just yesterday, I had a meeting with the Academic Board for College of Humanities. We have an entire series for global ambassadors that we want to roll out through the University of Ghana. So the students, people hear Stevie Wonder comes, all right, he's here. Well, how is he interacting with the Ghanaian students who are going to be the future leaders? Like, do these people come? Are they just, sequestered in their own enclave? Or are they actually impacting society? Rita Marley, how many of us have seen Rita Marley, Bob Marley's wife, right? She's been here in Ghana since however long. How many of us have been, have had an opportunity to interact? So this is where those students who are all raising their hands, get me out of here. Imagine if they heard from Stevie Wonder, they said, oh, you know what? His reasoning makes sense. Maybe I could build something here. What if they heard from a Rita Marley? What if they heard from Idris Elba? What if they heard from any of these Ghanaians who have gone outside? What if they heard from a Wode Maya? He was out in China somewhere and he decided to come back. What if they heard from Fuse ODG? He was out doing a Zonto, that struck the whole world. And he decided, you know what? I'm coming home. Like, imagine the type of impact, the social impact, the economic impact, the political impact, the psychological impact of having those types of dialogues, those types of discussions there at the University of Ghana. We've already, committed to that in principle. But again, this is the decade of our repatriation. And really, we have a blank slate, a blank canvas. The sky isn't the limit. The sky is the beginning in terms of what we can do with this.
So, briefly tell us what seems to be the major obstacles for repatriates and how do we work as government and citizens to make Ghana a true but a comfortable home for returning Africans?
I love your questions. You're such a great journalist.
Thank you so much.
Some of the obstacles tend to be people trying to do it themselves.
Okay.
Imagine like, I'll give you an analogy. So in the US, you have the southern states, you have the northern states. Let's say someone from the backwaters of Mississippi, some rural community, they go to the big city, New York City, and they got their overalls and suspenders, they got a straw hat, they just stick out like a sore thumb. Somebody's gonna say, I'm getting that guy's money, right? And it's not to say that everybody is here trying to get your money, but if they see here's somebody who doesn't know the language, they don't know the culture. All right, I think let's see what we can get. But once you're here and you come through a service like Repatriate to Ghana, now since I started Repatriate to Ghana, so many people have done copycat services. Here are people who've been here 1 year. They're like, yeah, I can help you repatriate. They've been here 2 years. I've been here 17 years. I'm a professor at the University of Ghana. I teach Twi to Ghanaians at the University of Ghana. I am installed as Bamuchidom Henia Ekwepe Mampon. If you want somebody, there's a proverb in Twi, Kwaterekwase Obama on Tomati Nidim.
Mhm.
As if naked man says he will give you a cloth. Listen to his name. So you need to go with those who actually know what they're doing, who have actually repatriated successfully. And that's one of the main things that we can do. So, government can do so much, but then again, it's up to us to create those systems, those structures, those processes, infrastructure, all of those things, so that when people come, they can get a soft landing. And you have to go with those who have the social proof, right? The proof of concept. This isn't saying, oh, one day I think that I could help people repatriate. I want everybody who's online right now, go to repatriatetoghana.com slash testimonials. These are people who we've already assisted in getting their citizenship, those who we've assisted in acquiring vehicles, acquiring land, getting married, everything that you can imagine. Matter of fact, my Repatriate to Ghana assistant, Luanga, he got married to a sister who we helped to get citizenship as well. So these are the different things that we can do. And we definitely want people to know that once you come, we don't want people to be penny smart and pound foolish, that the value of repatriation, it far exceeds the cost. And once you can really wrap your head around that, then you'll understand that once I repatriate, I don't have to worry about getting shot down in the streets, right? Like a Laquan McDonald. I don't have to worry about I'm driving somewhere and I get shot, in the passenger seat like Philando Castile. I don't have to worry about I'm jogging somewhere in my own neighborhood and I get shot like Ahmaud Arbery. I don't have to worry about, I was just driving somewhere and I'm found hung in my jail cell like Sandra Bland. I could go on for an hour just listing name after name. And let me tell you this, everyone from the biggest CEO who has billions of dollars in their bank account down to the person who doesn't even have two pennies to rub together, every black person knows that on a whim, they can be shot just like this.
Now, 10-year initiatives often lose momentum, and most often repatriates find or they face a lot of challenges with acceptance. What can we do this time around to address these kind of challenges? Briefly tell us.
Yes. So one of the main things is that because we ourselves, the key stakeholders are diasporans, with the year of return, there was government support, government funds, and so forth.
Yeah.
But, with that, it came a little bit of disconnect in terms of, well, what are these diasporans actually looking for? What do they actually need to know? What exactly, how are we going to help them integrate? Because there wasn't so much of an educational component. There was, a knowledge gap between those who are here versus those who are coming. So this is why, because we as diasporans who have repatriated successfully, we're stepping up to make sure that those who are building cities like Apiakrum,
Okay.
those who are building multi-million dollar housing facilities, those who are doing agriculture, those who are doing all of these components, we're not going to stop what we're doing. Now it's just that we have increased, visibility and let's even say legitimacy from the fact that the presidency of Ghana, shout out to KOD, who was our first endorsement from Office of the President, that they are backing us in this. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I have 5 children. My wife is here. My mother is here. I helped her repatriate as well. So imagine 10 years, I'm still going to be here. I'll be a full professor at the University of Ghana.
Okay.
Those who are building, those who are doing agriculture, those who are doing all these different components will be here. So we're not dependent on a government where it may change. It may go back to MPP. It may go, who knows, CPP may come to power. Who knows? But we're not dependent on those, even though we've gotten that endorsement. We're doing what we have been doing and are going to continue to do to make sure that it doesn't peter out. And then again, to make sure that all of the products, all of the services that are necessary for successful repatriation, just like we offer through Repatriate to Ghana, are going to be there for all of those who are looking to come.
All right, Ɔbenfo, so for those listening to you right now, in case anyone wants to stay in touch with you, hop onto the initiative, what number should they call you on?
So they can call me on 024-919-5150. Again, 024-919-5150. You'll realize that I don't have social media handles. I have my own social education app called Abibitumi, and then the messaging app Abibinkra. I'll spell that for you. Abibitumi, and then Abibinkra, Abibinkra. So that's how you can reach me. We have over 12,000 members who are part of this, and we are only getting stronger and getting better. We have the film festival coming up November 28th through 30th. So you can check that out. Abibifahodie Film Festival. We have the virtual conference from December 5th to the 7th. And I want to give a shout out to anyone who's looking to sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
We're only taking one headline sponsor from every category. So if you're a bank and you're interested in sponsoring, once one major bank comes on, that's it, right? And those who are coming in now are going to get it at a premium because you know what? 10 years down the line, when this is, they talk about year of return was 1.9 billion. Multiply that by 10, and what do you have? Now multiply exponentially, and what do you have? You understand? So by the time it gets to year 8 and year 9, and people start seeing all of the potential being realized, it may be too late. So anybody who's in the insurance space, we're in talks with SIC. Anyone who's in the banking space, we want anyone to reach out to us in order to be a part of this. when the University of Ghana, the premier university, I don't want any other university to feel bad about that, but the premier university in Ghana is on board with this, it lets you know that all of these professors, there were some 80 professors on the academic board call, and all of them heads of unit, they were like, this is a great idea. Let's bring this on board. Let's sustain this. So again, this is something that is taking off. It's something that has the backing from the Office of the President. It has
Yeah.
backing now from University of Ghana. We're going to formalize that through an MOU as well. And the sky isn't the limit. The sky is the beginning. This is Ghana's great brain gain. We cry and cry about the brain drain. Well, guess what? This is Ghana's great brain gain. We're not depending on anybody to give us reparations. This is self reparations that we're doing for ourselves because this is in our power to do, to restore, to repair that which has been damaged, all of those who have been kidnapped. We are coming back home and we are coming to make Kemet black again.
For your number again.
024 919 5150. I have flyers. I'll leave some flyers with you
Oh,
so
you have
that,
the file. Oh,
yep, so I'll
wonderful.
leave those with you. We have abibitumi.com, ABIBITUMI, abibitumi.com. You can download the app as well from the App Store and the Play Store, abibitumi.com, just like that. Abibi Nkra is our social messenger app. You can share live and in real time video, audio, and I have videos on YouTube that have 500,000 views, 400,000 views. I've done interviews with Ward and Maya, but you'll realize I'm not in the comments chatting with anyone. If you want to interact with me, come onto a black platform, and that's where you can interact with me. I'm serious about it. My phones are made in Burkina Faso. My vehicle is Kantanka. You see how I dress. I'm not joking. Everybody else is joking. They just want likes and followers. Once they get out of the studio, they're going to put on their polo shirts in there, whatever. I'm not joking. This isn't, 12 hours on the job and then 12 hours off the job. This is 24/7 Black liberation, Black power. Abibifahodie, Black power, Black liberation. And that's what it's all about.
Thank you very much, Ɔbenfo. It was a pleasure having you in the studio with us.
And you're such a great journalist. I just
Thank
want to
you.
compliment you once
Thank you.
again. I loved your questions. I love the flow. Just how you operated. You're a smooth operator. This isn't Sade, but I
She's
really
my
love how you do.
favorite musician,
I
by the
could tell
way.
because you're a smooth operator. I won't use my singing voice because I don't want to leave my professor job. I'll get so many job contract offers to sing that I'll just hold back on that one for now.
Have a great evening.
You too.
You had Ɔbenfo Obadele Kambon, an associate professor at the Institute of African Studies, University of Ghana. Behind the News is live on Radio Ghana in our crowd networking on our regional and district FM stations across the country.